If you lost your mother to death, or if your mother was emotionally absent or narcissistic, then you have missed the nurturing care of a mother. As we'll explore in this podcast, Nurturing Words, Voices of Experience, being a motherless daughter means being part of a club that no one wants to be in. The good news is while you are unique, you are not alone. What if we told you Motherless Daughters Ministry has 20 years worth of pearls of wisdom to help you on your mother loss journey? It's true. And we are sharing all of these pearls with you through this very podcast, Nurturing Words, Voices of Experience, sponsored lovingly by Motherless Daughters Ministry.
Hello, I'm Gladys Bell, your host. Today, as we start a new year, we're taking a look back to an insightful blog written by one of our talented writers as we began 2018. It focuses on the gift of support that may be right under our nose. It is possible to take for granted persons and resources with which we have regular and easy access. In the face of trials and persecution, we discover strengths we did not realize we had. Christine Fishel has allowed us to share her discovery of support that developed right under her nose and later helped her survive a year of devastating losses. When it struck 12:01 a.m. on January 1st, 2018, many people were celebrating the start of a new year, a fresh start, a clean slate. Me, I had already been asleep for going on 4 hours. The craving for and dreading of a different kind of year had been on my mind since August 1st, 2017. That's the day my dad died. I don't want to get overly sentimental about Dad because he never got very involved in my or my 3 siblings' lives. I'm not sure why he was that way, but the result was that Mom became the hub of our lives, and Dad happily relinquished his parenting duties to her, except for the occasional wonderfully crazy family outing, like the canoeing trip we attempted, which ended with Dad standing up at the end of a canoe, only to flip it vertically, soaking himself in the Mohican River and requiring him to wear a too small and threadbare bath towel around his waist to cover his nudity. Well, until he turned around. There's nothing that will erase that memory of his saggy butt cheeks and the impromptu giggles from the 4 of us and our mom. That was a good day. More frequent were the days he came home tired from laying brick in the hot sun on his knees. I see the exhaustion of parenting and working and living as a middle-ager now. But at the time, I only saw his irritable demands for us to remove ourselves from the spot he chose to sit and change the channel on the television to what he wanted to watch, even though I had just gotten comfortable on the couch and there were 2 empty lounge chairs open. And the fact that there were only 5 minutes left on the show I had been watching for 50 minutes. He was an old-school dad. But the loss of Dad wasn't the first of 2017. There were 5 major events of loss: 2 deaths, 1 estrangement, 1 imprisonment, 1 destroyed marriage, 1 sold childhood home, 13 rooms of memories packed up and sold, all within my original family of 6. I had been adding up the numbers throughout the year. You do the math. It was a bad year. And Dad's death on August 1st felt like salt rubbed in an already open wound. Except I received a gift I can't help but get overly sentimental about, and it's still not enough sentiment. When it hits the fan, when difficulty and tragedy and loss come, the stuff we're made of starts spilling out. Imagine a well-loved pillow that is barely held together after decades of existence and use. Then a toddler finds it, and that pillow suddenly takes on some unintentional roughness. The old threads holding the seams together begin to fray and break. The matted cotton stuffing reveals itself through the opened seams, hanging loose at first, and then attaching itself to everyone who sits with that pillow. Humans are like pillows. If we are stuffed with anger, it can't help but come out at the seams in the midst of difficult times. Similarly, when we are stuffed with grace and love and joy, those things ooze out of us too. Whatever is inside of us can't help but come out when we face loss after loss after loss. And that's how I got to know my sister, for real. 7 years younger than me, we grew separated by just enough time that our lives were always in different stages. Our marriages began in different decades, and our babies were born in different cities. But now we are thrown together in the most heartbreaking of situations. She watched Dad die. She was with Mom when they both experienced that tragedy. She held Grandma's hand while speaking comforting words at her deathbed. She stood up for me in the midst of emotional attack. When it hit the fan, the stuffing that came out of my sister was grace, understanding, love, and because we all grew up in the same family, I know the hard work she must have done throughout her life to nurture the seeds God planted deep within her, to grow those amazing qualities to such fullness that they now can't help but slip out of her seams when rough times come. How do I describe the gratitude and love I have for her? I can't. I can only hope she knows that my quirky, sometimes awkward actions reveal it day after day, like when I text her a silly emoji to represent the inside jokes we have now, or the obscure phrases that set off our laughing until tears fall. Those times are a gift I don't deserve, and therefore am holding on to as if my life depends upon it. I guess we can survive without someone besides Jesus who knows us and loves us anyway, but that's not a life I'd want to live. And so I'm praising God every day as I drive to work or pop the casserole into the oven or open my junk mail. I am thanking Him for my sister and all that He has done within her that gave her the strength to become who she is. She is the gift I opened in 2017 and I'm taking with me into this new year. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue the discussion.
Mother loss comes in many forms: death, emotional absence, narcissism, and as painful as mother loss is, there are so many treasures to be found by going through the pain instead of avoiding it and stumbling around trying to tiptoe around it. Motherless Daughters Ministry is a nonprofit 501c3 and was created by motherless daughters for motherless daughters. We can actually say, we understand your pain. We've been there.
we're still there. We are all survivors, and as survivors, we walk this journey together. For over 20 years, this ministry has reached every corner of the globe to help motherless daughters just like yourself find comfort, freedom, self-love, grace, forgiveness. Could you use any of those? You've already taken the huge step of tuning into this podcast. You are on a mother loss journey. Did you know that? This very moment and every action you take will either bring you closer to healing or push you further away from it. Which direction do you want to move in? Motherless Daughters Ministry is here to help you navigate the deep and frigid waters of mother loss. Let us do what we do best, and that's nurture you as you heal.
The title of Christine's blog is, quote, "My Sister, My Gift During a Year of Loss," unquote. She and her sister grew up in the same household, with the same parents, and shared many of the same experiences. Yet each of them had a different way of handling this string of events. Her story is a testimony to the effect and importance of what is poured into you, your life experiences, and preparation. Even within the same family, each person has a unique perspective of their upbringing. There are a number of variables that determine the habits, skills, and approaches developed in each member of the family. Some of those variables are birth order, differences in age, relationships, shared activities, parenting styles, and exposure to experiences. Those are just a few of the elements that can make for differences in the ability to be resilient, respond versus react, adapt, and support others with the grace, understanding, and love Christine talked about. What a wonderful gift to discover that her younger sister, almost a decade apart, would eventually be the support to help her survive a devastating year of loss. Her sister, who loved, understood, and experienced the same family members and shared many of the same memories, could support her without saying a word. Christine's story serves to validate the mission of the Motherless Daughters Ministry. We have created an ever-growing community of sisters who discover shared experiences and feel that we are seen and heard. Our programming is inspired and designed to nurture the seeds God planted in each of us to know who we are in Him. He lets us know in His Word that, quote, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness," unquote. That's from 2 Corinthians 12:9. That knowledge, sometimes covered by tragedy, emerges to support us in surviving experiences and walking with one another on the journey to healing from the impact of loss. Although we come in every size, age, and belief system, we discover how much we have in common. We have finally found people who understand our experiences and feelings. My sister, my gift. Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us here at Motherless Daughters Ministry. If you need more nurturing words, we encourage you to have a listen to other episodes of this podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe or follow button so you can join us again next time.